In this video, I'm going to go over the best shaders for performance, the best shaders for beauty and feel, and shaders that look beautiful and run well. I understand there's so many shader options out there, so I've handpicked these specifically for this video. But before we begin, a lot of you have been asking about my mod pack in the comments. If it wasn't for y'all's persistency, I honestly wouldn't have even bothered trying so hard to get it approved. The approval process has honestly been a pain in the ass, but luckily it's finally here, so go download it for free in the description. Let's start off with Raster Shaders. These are your traditional Minecraft shaders everyone knows and loves. They use standard techniques such as standard non-ray voxelization and rasterization. This all sounds super complicated, but basically it just means they won't completely eat up your GPU. Complementary. Alright, starting off strong, we have arguably one of the best shaders ever created. It's known for a simple but gorgeous lighting system and top-notch performance for the visuals you get out of it. Not only does this shader look good in pretty much any scene, it's also one of the more customizable shaders out there. I love the shader specifically because it keeps the vanilla feel of the game while turning it up a notch. AstraLex. This was my favorite shader pack until I discovered Rethinking Voxels, we'll cover later into the video. What makes AstraLex so unique is its cartoonish look, yet amazing visual overhaul. Playing with this pack on feels like a Mojang intended graphics update. At least that's how I like to look at it. Anyway, both the performance and the look of the pack are highly customizable, and I always recommend this pack to players who don't have the best of hardware, but still want to spice up their gameplay. Bliss. This shader gained traction for its jaw-dropping graphical appeal when combined with distant horizons. These videos have been blowing up all over social media, even today. So if you've seen any videos recently where the terrain seems to go on indefinitely and the game looks absolutely incredible, you're probably watching someone play with the classic Bliss shaders and distance horizons combo. Lux. Now Lux is one of the more underappreciated shaders out there. It comes out of the box with depth of field on, which I usually don't like in shaders, but I think the devs did a great job with this one. Playing in nighttime with Lux offers a completely different experience. It's smooth yet vibrant, and while that might not always be realistic, I think it looks amazing. The settings for this shader aren't very customizable on the performance side of things, but Lux does offer a lot of lighting and environment customization, so you can still tailor the shader to how you want it to look. BSL. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this pack because honestly, who doesn't know what BSL is? But I had to add it in here because it's a classic and it surprisingly still receives updates. While I've never been a huge fan of BSL style, I have to give the creator their flowers. This pack set the trend for many shader packs to come, even years after its making. The customizability is also superb, allowing the user to tweak mostly everything inside the shader, from performance to style. Pegasus. This is a heavy shader, but it has a very unique look. The best way I can describe it is sort of piratey, if you've ever played Sea of Thieves. It's got a very raw feel to it. The only thing that threw me off a little was the nighttime mode for the shader. I didn't think it looked bad, it was just a little dark for my liking. However, the settings include performance presets, which is very handy. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent shader. Photon. I saved this one for last because of how incredible it is. If there's ever a shader that can mimic ray tracing so well and still be a rasterized shader, it would definitely be Photon. The first month I had it, I thought I was genuinely playing with a path trace shader, and it was hard to convince me otherwise. Anyway, performance on Photon is pretty good and it's highly customizable. Alright, moving on to the RT/PT shaders. First up, we have Rethinking Voxels. I had to include this in this list, this shader is truly a marvel. As a hybrid RT shader, this pack delivers breathtaking visuals. I really can't stress how much I love this pack, and that's why it deserves the S tier for our list. Oh, and since it's just a modified version of Complementary, it includes all this awesome, highly customizable settings. Plus the nighttime looks beautiful. Shrimple. I think Shrimple's simplicity is what makes it a solid shader. The performance is actually great for a path trace shader, and you can create some pretty cool lighting effects with it. The pixelated shadows out of the box makes this pack stand out from others, and I think the nighttime looks stunning, and overall the shader's customization is great. Solas. When customized right, this shader has a certain feel to it that any player would love. I think the combination of screen space, path tracing, and volumetric lighting puts the shader at the higher end of my list. I'm obsessed with how the reflections look, especially at night. Only downside is, this is a very heavy shader, it will eat away at your GPU. Voyager. The Voyager shader is honestly a hidden gem. I particularly love the way the light interacts with the environment in this pack, it just looks stunning. It's partially ray traced and extremely heavy, so be aware of performance issues when running this on lower level GPUs. Its minimalistic approach to shading is also really refreshing, and there are also presets for performance, which is nice to have. Performance shaders. Keep in mind some GPUs might still struggle to run these even at the lowest settings, but if you have a low-end GPU, I would still give these a try, especially since Iris and Sodium have such glorious optimizations now. Also, my FPS was low because I just loaded into the world to film these, so my performance should not be a reflection of how well these perform, so just keep that in mind. Makeup ultra fast. Despite being a performance shader, this pack is shockingly really nice looking. The sunlight looks very good, and I get that I'm on a 4090, but I'm playing in 5K and the shader still runs like butter. Definitely give this one a try. Vanilla Plus. This pack is even lighter than the last one. The shadows and lighting are a little less processed, so this should run even better. There are 3 presets, with the fast preset not looking bad at all. If you have a lower end computer, check this one out for sure. Noble. Now I included this in the performance aisle because of the great FPS you can get out of this pack when you tweak it. It's almost like a lighter version of BSL, plus the fact you can go from potato to full-blown NASA PC shaders in a click of a button. It's pretty crazy. Like, just look at the quality of this clip. It looks insane. But yeah, in terms of performance, the shader is actually great, so definitely check it out. So you're probably wondering what my favorite shader is as someone who's tested hundreds of them. For me, it's definitely NostalgiaVX. While it is a paid shader, it's truly A1. I see where it gets its name. It feels very nostalgic, almost as if you're playing Minecraft as a kid again. I really dig the clouds in the shader. They remind me of the Complementary shader clouds. And while NostalgiaVX is not very customizable in terms of performance options, it still allows you to change pretty much anything to do with block emissions and environment. All in all, due to Minecraft's OpenGL rendering system, it's hard to take full advantage of modern GPUs. This is partly why shaders can be so hard to run, but other games seem to run just fine. However, if you'd like the best beauty to performance ratio, definitely go with AstraLex. That's my pick for sure. If you want to destroy your computer, check out some of the PT/RT shaders I mentioned, especially NostalgiaVX. That's definitely my all-time favorite. And if you have a lower end PC but still want the viewing pleasure, use Makeup Ultrafast or Vanilla Plus shaders. Those are two solid options. If you'd like to see me try out any more shaders that I haven't already, let me know in the comments which ones you'd like to see. Alright, till next time.